So I'm in the middle of reading this book. It's not a nonfiction book. It's a fiction book. It's a story. It's called A Man Calls Ove or A Man Calls Ove or something to that effect. I don't know how they pronounce his name. But it's a story about this guy that's this grumpy old dude that kind of lives his life and how his life changes through these experiences and how he becomes a better person. But there's a part in the story where he talks about, it's like it goes back in the past before the story that the book is talking about, and it talks about his past life and how he's had this neighbor where each year, every few years, they would both be getting the newest car. One would get the main character, he would be getting the Saab, and then his neighbor had the Volvo, and then one year he would have the Saab 400 or whatever it is, and then the guy would get the Volvo 5000, and then he would get the Saab 600. Like every few years, they would keep trading back and forth because they wanted to have the best car. And I think that really is a good motto for what the point of this whole video is, and how over-freaking-rated it is to keep up with the Joneses. What a waste of time, energy, money, and pretty much just, that's pretty much it, honestly. Time, effort, and money, and existence. Honestly, you're wasting your existence. So, what is keeping up with the Joneses? That's kind of what I was trying to talk about in that little anecdote from my book, but it's essentially basing your life's wants and desires on the opinions of others, right? It's essentially living your life through the lens of other people and having them not necessarily control, but have them heavily influence how you navigate your life, right? What you buy, what you do, what you want, what you get, right? And I want to also be clear, there's a difference between seeing something like a friend of yours has, and you're like, oh, I want that. Like maybe they have a cool Bluetooth speaker and you're like, dang, I want to get one of those. That's cool. That's different than keeping up with the Joneses. When I say keeping up with the Joneses, I'm talking about the difference between what I just said about the Bluetooth speaker and someone that's literally buying stuff that your friend has that you don't even want, but you're getting it just because you want to be like them. Like you have no desire to have it except for the fact that, oh, your friend has it, so you better get one. You might not even use the thing. Like, do you know how psychotic and bizarre that sounds? That is so crazy. I don't understand that. It's something it is out of my realm of honest comprehension, guys. I don't get it. I will tell you guys, I have not struggled a lot with the whole keeping up with the Jones thing. It's something that came natural to me. I've never been one to really succumb to peer pressure. And I will say most of the things that I buy or the way I live my life is because it's the way I want to do it. And I think it benefits me. But how does it really start? Well, someone essentially buys something or someone has something that basically gets a lot of attention or makes you feel out of place, and then you act on that feeling, that lonely feeling or that feeling of emptiness you get when you see someone else has something, right? And that's the problem, is that you have a feeling attached to something that other person has, right? And it makes it hard, right? You know, you have to think, how am I going to get that? So another little kind of analogy with it is that most people, we all work jobs and are supervised by a supervisor or a boss. Like we all have a manager and they supervise us. But keeping up with the Joneses is like the same thing, right? Except it's your life is being supervised and essentially what I would say hijacked by other people. You're letting your life be hijacked by other people and supervised and managed by your friends, your family, whoever, right? Celebrities. And, this isn't something new. We all know that, right? It's been around probably since the beginning of time. Someone has something and they want it, right? I'm sure this goes back to the cavemen, right? We start a fire and now the other guy wants a fire or wants to know how to do it, or they've got berries and food and they're like, I want it. So then they find it or they make a better fire or a better house, and they're like, oh, that's cool, and then they built, I'm sure it's been around forever. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just kind of making that story up, but like, I'm sure we know it's been around since people have bought stuff, of course, but it's deeper than that, and I'm sure it has more history and lineage than that. I do want to share with you guys a quote that I read from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I think it really does fit this narrative of this video, and it's one at the end of the book when I recently read it, and it goes, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own," right? And you can kind of use that quote in many ways. It's a beautiful quote in my opinion, but in this regard, it's, caring more about the opinions of what other people think we should have and then acting on those instead of really living our life the way we want to. And, social media doesn't help this. We all know that, right? Of course. And I feel like I've harped on this so many times, and I say this in every video because social media is a culprit for so many issues in our society. Not to say that there's a lot of great things with social media, but, it really does amplify a lot of issues we have. It really takes zero effort to compare with people, and just by opening your phone, you're comparing with a bunch of people, and you're getting that sense of emptiness that you get with the whole keeping up with the Jones thing. And it's so overrated, it's so bad, and it's unhealthy, really. So what is the alternative? Well, the alternative, you guys, is living the life you want, right? And making sure you don't succumb to peer pressure and working and fighting on that. And a lot of these things that I talk about in my videos, and you hear all these like self-help people talk about, like, this is kind of a self-help video, but all of these things, right, you have to work at them, right? It's like going to the gym. You have to work every day, day in and day out. Even on your days off, you're eating healthy, or if you're doing this, all of these things, like not letting the opinions of others influence you, you have to work on these every day and practice every day, right? That's why, with religion and stuff, like you have practices every day and teachings, and they teach a lot of the times the same things years over years because you need to keep exposing yourself and working on them because they're not simple. These are complicated, hard things to work on. This is an example of something that's pretty tough to navigate, and making sure you don't succumb to peer pressure in this sense. It's tough, right? Making sure that you're buying things that you actually want, right? That you're going to use. Living life on your terms, not others. That's so important. And this, in my opinion, this is essentially, in my opinion, one of the times where it's really okay to be selfish with your life, because you're the navigator, you're the controller. You need to be the controller. You can't let someone hijack your boat, and the boat is you. So you need to be in control, and having that confidence to be in control and make those choices and feel comfortable in your own skin, getting what you want and being who you want to be. So that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to share that. I know it's probably been harped on by many thousands of videos and YouTubers already, but just sharing my perspective on it, and hope everyone has a great night, and peace out. Happy Monday.